Bienvenidos a todos a Pasión española, the YouTube channel where you will find your passion for Spanish. Bienvenidos al quinto episodio de Pasión española. Today we're going to do some more reading practice and we're going to deal with two texts. Again, we're going to try to identify the four true statements for each one of the texts. Before we start, I would like to give you some advice. There is a feature that is very useful on YouTube, which is the speed control. I use it all the time when I'm learning a new skill myself. Basically, if you click on the little cog on settings, you will see that one of the options that you have is to control the playback speed. Obviously, normal, you would hear the recording as I am doing it now. There is nothing special about it. But if you are quite confident with it, or if you are revisiting a lesson that you have seen before, you might want to go to 1.25 or even 1.5 instead of the normal speed. So you can cover the same lesson at a faster pace. That might be very advantageous for you. Conversely, you can also slow it down to 0.75 for difficult passages or when you're listening to the text, or if you're trying to understand the text for the first time and you're not in a rush. I would recommend that you try that approach because it can work to your benefit too. Okay, we're going to start with the first text today. It's called Corrida de toros, valentía o barbarie. I'm going to read it first. Para mucha gente en México y en el mundo hispano, el toreo es un arte con letras mayúsculas. La lucha entre el hombre y la bestia, donde el más fuerte es derrotado por el contrincante más débil, es una bella historia de superación. Aun así, huelga decir que no todo el mundo quiere hacer de la tauromaquia su profesión de por vida. Los toreros entrenan durante años para perfeccionar las habilidades necesarias para salir vivos del trance. Es importante mencionar que hay muchas personas que no son nada aficionadas y que opinan que es una tradición anticuada. Además, opinan que es una profesión muy peligrosa y que hay demasiados accidentes todos los años, aunque no suelen ser mortales por lo general. También los hay que piensan que las corridas son crueles y que el toro sufre de forma innecesaria. Por esta razón, en Cataluña, en el noroeste de España, se han prohibido recientemente, suscitando una gran polémica. ¿Y tú qué opinas? Okay, now we're going to move on to the actual task. As always, I recommend that you spend some time reading the task so you find out exactly what you need to be doing. In this case, we need to identify the four true statements. I'm going to ask you to pause the video now, and I will see you in a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, so we can check the answers together. Pause the video now. Okay, the first true statement is statement C. Both A and B are false. C. Bullfighters need to train for many years. Many years. We know that the word years is años. So where do we find that word? There we have it. Los toreros entrenan durante años. Entrenar is the verb to train. It's kind of a semi-cognate. It's kind of similar. And then we have word años, which gives it away, really. A and B are not true statements, and there are statements in the text that disprove these two statements, A and B. Please spend some time to confirm that you understand why. The next right answer is D. For some, it's a bit old-fashioned. The word for old-fashioned is anticuado. It's fairly easy to work out because it reminds us of the English word antique. So here we have the evidence. Es una tradición anticuada. The next true statement is Letter E. Not many bullfighters die. And the evidence is here. Aunque no suelen ser mortales. Por lo general, los accidentes no suelen ser mortales. Generally, accidents are not fatal. No suelen ser. Finally, the last true statement is F. Some think the bull suffers unnecessarily. That is true. And here we have the evidence. El toro sufre de forma innecesaria. The bull suffers unnecessarily. As always, I recommend that you have a look at the rest of the statements. Catalonia is in Mexico. Well, if you know anything about geography, you will know that that's not the case, but even then, the text is telling us that Catalonia is a region in the northeast of Spain. And finally, bullfights are now popular in Catalonia. The opposite is true. It's saying that in Catalonia, bullfights have been made illegal recently. So both H and G are false. Okay, we're going to now move to the next text. The title is Los tatuajes y el empleo. I'll read it first. Marcelo tiene 23 años y quiere ser agente de policía en su ciudad natal, Badajoz. El problema es que, como otros muchos de sus amigos, tiene un par de tatuajes y piensa que esto puede afectar negativamente a su oportunidad de entrar en el cuerpo de policía. A su novia, Cristina, no le gustan nada los tatuajes, pero él decidió hacérselos de todas maneras. Él ahora está arrepentido y tiene la intención de pagar una sesión de láser para eliminarlos y poder llegar a ser policía como él desea. Desafortunadamente, este tratamiento es doloroso, además de bastante caro. En teoría, el tener tatuajes o piercings no debería influir demasiado a la hora de encontrar empleo, pero la realidad es que en muchos trabajos no se ve con buenos ojos estar tatuado. Los peores son aquellos en la cara, en el cuello o en las manos. Todavía peor es si estos incluyen mensajes racistas, con referencia a pandillas o de incitación al odio. Por último, es normalmente muy mala idea tatuarse mensajes en idiomas extranjeros, por ejemplo en mandarín, porque pueden ser ofensivos. Okay, the task is exactly the same as the one before. We need to identify the 4 true statements. I would recommend that you pause the video, you find the 4 true statements, and you write them down. I would suggest about 3 minutes is about right. Be careful with this task today, because you might find out that some of the right answers might be surprising. Alright, let's start. The right answer, the first right or true statement is A. Marcelo was born in Badajoz. Where is the evidence for this? We have this expression here, Marcelo, and then we have this expression, su ciudad natal. Quiere ser policía en su ciudad natal. He wants to be a policeman in his city of birth, the city where he was born. En su ciudad natal. The key word there is natal. The second one is C. His girlfriend does not like them. His girlfriend does not like tattoos. This was pretty straightforward. The evidence is here. A su novia Cristina no le gustan nada los tatuajes. D is a little bit misleading. It's not the right answer. Although the word expensive, caro, it is mentioned, but it's not to say that tattoos are expensive, but tattoo removal sessions are expensive, so be careful about that. The next one is G. Racist tattoos are not acceptable. That is definitely, it would make sense that that's the right answer, and it is true, and the evidence is here. Todavía peor es si estos incluyen mensajes racistas. And finally, the last one that is correct is letter H. Tattoos in foreign languages are foolish. And the evidence is here. Es normalmente muy mala idea. It's normally a very bad idea. What is it a bad idea? Tatuarse mensajes en idiomas extranjeros. To get a tattoo written in a foreign language that you can't read. And then he explains that it's because they might be offensive. You might be writing a swear word in Chinese or a really foolish thing or with spelling mistakes, which you might not appreciate, but other people might do, and you might find it embarrassing. So, yeah, H is also the right answer. All right. Thank you very much. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Pasión Española, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. By the way, don't miss out on the new Vídeos Rápidos section of the channel. They are very, very short, very quick videos that will remind you of key vocab and interesting idioms that you might find useful for your exam. Don't miss them because they can be really helpful and they make you stand out from the crowd. Okay, see you soon. Hasta luego.